Imagine buying a brand new phone and realizing it feels less like a phone and more like an AI experiment that just happens to make calls. That's the Pixel 10 for you. It's bold, it's futuristic, and depending on how you see it, maybe even a little unsettling. Some people swear it's the future of smartphones, others say it's just Google dressing up old hardware with shiny AI tricks. The truth, it's somewhere in between, and that's what makes this phone so fascinating to talk about. Welcome back, viewers. Sam here. If you love diving into the latest tech with a little bit of fun, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss out. All right, let's get into the good stuff. The easiest way to describe the Pixel 10 is this: an AI first device that happens to come in the shape of a phone. That sounds wild, but when you look closely, almost everything about it revolves around artificial intelligence rather than raw specs. Sure, you've got the new Tensor G5 chip, faster charging, and dust protection on the Pro Fold model, but compared to what we usually expect from a big yearly upgrade, the hardware feels familiar. The base Pixel 10 getting a telephoto camera is a nice twist, but here's the kicker: the main camera is actually a downgrade. That alone shows you where Google's priorities are, not on megapixels, but on algorithms. And that's where things get both exciting and a little questionable. AI is clearly the star of the show. At first, it feels like magic. ProRes zoom promising to give you 100x close-ups of a car miles away, or Magic Q jumping in with perfectly written conversation replies. But then you realize the photo you just snapped isn't exactly a photo. It's an AI-generated guess of what should be there. It looks sharp, almost DSLR-like, but it raises the question: if AI is filling in the blanks, is it still real photography? Or are we looking at digital art pretending to be reality? Take the conversation assistant. Magic Q might save you time when you're too busy to reply, but do you really want your phone scripting your conversations? What if you want to be spontaneous or even just playful? Having an AI that can literally talk for you is both futuristic and slightly creepy. It makes you wonder if Google is pushing convenience at the cost of authenticity. Now, let's not ignore the basics, because this is where Pixel 10 sparks the most debate. At flagship prices, you'd expect jaw-dropping performance, but the Tensor G5 is more marathon runner than sprinter. It's efficient, steady, and fine for most people, but if you were hoping for raw power to rival Apple's or Samsung's latest chips, you're going to be disappointed. And the battery? Bigger, yes, but still a familiar story. Solid at first, but over time it throttles. It charges slower compared to the competition, and it struggles under heavy use. That's frustrating because these aren't just small details. They're the foundation of the experience. Cameras, apps, even flashy AI features, none of it matters if your processor lags or your battery gives up halfway through the day. For a brand that's spent years trying to catch up to the giants of the smartphone world, these compromises feel risky. But here's the twist: what if Google isn't trying to compete in the old game at all? Maybe it doesn't care about being the fastest or the strongest. Maybe the whole point of the Pixel 10 is to shift the conversation, to prove that the future of smartphones isn't about specs, but about smarts. Real time translation that uses your own voice, AI, generated videos for presentations, even an assistant that helps you compose a photo with the best angles. If done right, these features could be revolutionary. And to be fair, there are parts of the Pixel 10 that feel genuinely next level. That new triple lens system is no joke. On the Pro and Pro XL, zooming in up to 100x actually works far better than you'd expect, especially with AI stabilization, making shaky hands look professional. The results aren't always perfect, but when you compare them to older phones, it's hard not to be impressed. And that magnetic Pixel snap system, it sounds like a gimmick until you actually try it. It grips so tightly that you can shake the phone without it falling off a mount, while also charging wirelessly at up to 2050 W. That's one of those little quality of life upgrades you don't realize you need until you use it. Charging itself is also much better. The Pixel 10 hits 55% in half an hour, while the Pro models can go up to 70%. Not record-breaking, but fast enough to keep you going. Pair that with a brighter display, 300 nits at its peak, and suddenly watching HDR content outdoors feels completely different. Design-wise, Google's playing it safe. The Pixel 10 doesn't look dramatically different from the 9, aside from a matte versus glossy finish depending on the model. The colors are new: lime, blue, gray, black for the standard model, and more refined shades for the Pro lineup. But otherwise, it's that same familiar Pixel silhouette. Some might call that boring, others might call it timeless. On the camera front, everyday shots look great, but the difference really shows up in low light or zoom situations where the Pro models dominate. The 42MP selfie camera on the Pro is overkill in the best way. It's almost like having a studio camera in your pocket. Yes, some portraits still look a little over-processed, but when the results hit, they really hit. So where does that leave us? The Pixel 10 isn't the perfect phone, it's a bold experiment. On one side, you've got mid-tier performance and a few hardware compromises that make you wonder if you're really getting your money's worth. On the other, you've got AI tools that hint at the future, tools that could eventually change how we use our phones entirely. That's what makes the Pixel 10 such a paradox. Is it a futuristic leap forward, or is it Google selling us an early prototype of the future? Depending on your perspective, it could be either, or both, and that's why people can't stop talking about it. So what about you? Would you trust AI to zoom, edit, and even talk for you? Or do you think Google's forgetting the basics of what makes a great phone?